A Belfast man accused of murdering his wife and injuring his mother in Reedfield is not competent to stand trial. In February, a judge called for a competency evaluation for 34-year-old Samuel Whittemore after he was charged with killing 32-year-old Margot Whittemore and injuring his mother. After reviewing the evaluation, the court ordered Whittemore to stay in the custody of the Department of Health and Human Services for restoration of competence. The judge says Whittemore will be committed to either Riverview Psychiatric Center or Dorothea Dix Psychiatric Center. Reports from the hospital will be submitted to the court between 30 to 60, then 180 days if Whittemore's competency is not restored. His no bail order remains in effect.